recently had a young couple reach out to me that had a flood from their dishwasher, and so they had to replace it. They had ordered a new one, but they needed help installing it and weren't sure how to do it. So I figured, I'm pretty sure I actually don't have a video of that on my channel. So in this case, we have this dishwasher. I don't know, something's wrong with the board, the computer on it. And so we're just gonna go ahead and replace this with a new one, so the person who ends up in this home has a peace of mind, they know that they're all set with a new dishwasher. So we're gonna replace this. I've not made a video of this before, so I figure I'll show you guys how to switch your old dishwasher out for a new one. So if you have a stone countertop, you're gonna have dishwasher brackets that go into, usually there's a bracket that goes all the way across that's mounted on the sides, and then the screws go into that. If you have a laminate countertop or a wood countertop, the brackets holding your dishwasher in, they may just be screwed directly into the bottom of your countertop. And these really, the only purpose of these is to make sure when you open your door, your dishwasher doesn't tip out. So I've seen many houses that they actually don't install these brackets on, but for the most part, you should have a bracket down here. So we're gonna go ahead and remove those brackets. The bracket across the top will stay. You can just reuse that to mount your new dishwasher into. Now, the next thing you're gonna have that we have already removed is down here at the bottom, there's usually some sort of a panel. So I'm gonna show you on the new dishwasher actually what this looks like, just so you have an idea. So you'll have a panel like that white guy that just covers up, you know, the ugly parts down here. So in this case, we've removed it already. And these can be attached a couple different ways. If you look at the one we're gonna install, those are gonna be screwed in. The screws are back there. This is just sitting in there. But sometimes there's a little plastic clip that you just do a quarter turn on. So you might have to play with that a little bit, but you're gonna go ahead and remove this piece off your existing dishwasher. All right, next we're gonna go to under the sink. Your dishwasher is gonna be connected in a few spots. It's gonna have a power cord. It's gonna have a drain line that if you have a garbage disposal, it probably drains into your garbage disposal. And then if you don't have a garbage disposal, it's gonna drain into your plumbing system. And then you're gonna have a supply line off your hot water line, because you're gonna have hot water going to the dishwasher that feeds your supply to your dishwasher. So we have to disconnect all three of those things. Now, in my case, I had a control board problem with this dishwasher. So I'm gonna keep my existing supply line. The people I helped replace theirs because they had a leak and they didn't know where their leak came from. We replaced the supply line just in case that there was some damage there. But this supply line is new. This dishwasher is just glitching out up here. So we're gonna disconnect our drain line, and I'm gonna leave my supply line connected here because I'm gonna connect it to the new one, and we're gonna unplug our cord. So let's get in there and take a look at that. So we've unplugged our power cord. We're just gonna feed that back through. That's the hole where everything comes from. We're gonna feed that hole back through that way towards our dishwasher when we pull it out. If you were connecting your supply line, so this is my supply line right here. See my hot water? It's teed off my hot water, but I am gonna turn this off because I'm gonna disconnect it, and I think I have already. So we're gonna go lefty-loosey would be on, righty-tighty, so we're gonna go right all the way, so that's turned off, so we're not draining water when we disconnect it over there. And then we're going to, this is our drain line right here. So we're gonna loosen this clamp on our drain line because our drain line is gonna pull out with our dishwasher. This is like permanently attached to your dishwasher on the back of it. Now, the other thing that I'm gonna have to do is when you have a dishwasher, you want what's called a high drain loop, meaning this drain from your dishwasher goes up high before it comes down low into your drain, and it helps it drain better. So for instance, some people will drill the hole where the dishwasher comes through up really high over here so that creates the high drain loop. In my case, the hole that the supply line, the drain line, the dishwasher came through is really low. So we had to create our high drain loop by zip tying this up as high as we could on the top of the bottom side of the cabinet. So I'm gonna have to disconnect those zip ties too. So this is loose, but I have my high drain loop connected. So see what I mean? It all came through together. So I had that looped up there really high, so we create this downward slope toward our drain. So up here, I have some Velcro zip ties attaching this. We're gonna detach that so this is not connected to anything. So now we're gonna start to pull our dishwasher out, and this, our drain line, our cord, and our supply line are all gonna feed out. Now remember, I left my supply line connected, so once I pull out my dishwasher a little bit, I'm actually gonna have to disconnect it from the bottom of the dishwasher, or my dishwasher will only come out so far. So now we're just gonna start to slide this out. Dishwashers are actually quite light. I'm gonna be limited though, because remember I left my supply line connected. So here's my drain line. That's permanently attached to the dishwasher, so we're not gonna do anything with that. Here is my supply line, And they're all different. This one kind of goes on the side. The one I installed the other day, you actually did it from the front right here. We're gonna disconnect this supply line so that we can reuse that for the new dishwasher. And then we're also gonna have the power cord, and you can either disconnect, it's over there, we'll find the junction. You can either disconnect that and reuse it, or you can install a new power cord. But we'll install a new one just so I can show you how to do that. All right, so I flipped this over on its back just so you guys can see it a little bit better. So you can see here's our junction where electrical connects, and then right here is our water. So we're gonna go ahead and just disconnect our water line, and you're gonna have some water still in there. So if you can do this with like a little cup or a bowl, that's better. I just don't have, this property is vacant. So our water line is disconnected. Some dishwashers connect like this with this piece. The last one I did, this just connected directly on. So I always take off all my pieces if you're getting rid of the dishwasher. I don't know if I'll need, I don't think I should need this, but I take them all off just in case, because it sucks when you throw a part away and then you need it for the next time. But it's also good to replace your parts just so you're not risking putting something back that's kind of worn out and having more likelihood of a leak. So we're gonna go ahead and open up this box that our housing is in for our wire connections, if you're gonna reuse your wire, and just disconnecting all these nuts. So this cord is so messed up. See how many of those little, I don't know if you can see that very well. See how thick this one is? See how many like bristles it has? It's these multiple little wires. See how many are missing from this one? So I will not be reusing this cord. I'm gonna put a new cord on here because this is definitely not in great shape. They've just, with the twisting, they've disconnected it down there. So shoot, that kind of makes me wonder even if that was wrong, what was creating the issues with the panel. I don't understand that very well because sometimes it would work and sometimes it wouldn't. But anyway, we got a new one and this is off. So we're gonna put the new one in. We're gonna definitely replace this cord. So slide this out of place, throw it away, whatever you wanna do. So this is our new dishwasher. It does have, because we're probably gonna sell this house, I'm gonna leave it all new and fresh looking, but we do have a handle that we have to install. So I'm gonna take that out so I can put that on. But I think all this other stuff is just manuals and components for the inside. Oh, and nope, we have a couple things we need in here. So the new brackets, just to show you. And yours might not be like this. So here's the two brackets that we're gonna use to attach to the bracket we have across the top. And then also this is the box that's gonna go around where the electrical plug connects at the bottom. Now, many times I have got these and this is already there. You have to take it off, put the cord on, put it back on. So you may have a little bit different of a setup. And then see if we have a cord tug protector or anything. We don't look like we do. This one is on a wooden plate and these bracket, it's like, you have the feet that you adjust to actually put the dishwasher in. They're on the wooden bracket. So we're gonna have to remove these to take the wood off. You're gonna just discard the wood and then we'll put these feet back on. Now, it told me to use a socket wrench. I was not prepared for this, so I just started with a channel lock. And you could use a crescent wrench too. It's getting the job done. Once they're loose, they kind of just keep twisting out. Okay, got that last foot off. Get that junk out of there. And then you're gonna have to adjust your feet so you can just kind of put them on. So here's our new plug. So you are going to put your plug through this hole and we're gonna make this connections all inside of here and then we're gonna put this box on. And again, I've seen many times this box is already on there. So just pay attention to how you take it off and put it on the same way. And then we're just gonna connect our ground with our ground, our green, our white with our white, and our black with our black. So this is a tug protector. This is gonna make it where if the cord gets tugged on, it doesn't yank on the connection. This is built into this plug. Sometimes it's not and you have to buy a separate one. But so we're gonna go ahead and put that through. And those little clips. And I'm not super familiar with one like this, but I think that's all it does is those just catch if you try to pull. Okay, I may be using this tug protector wrong. So do your due diligence there, not dealt with one like that. And then gonna pull off all these little tips. Those are just protecting those little wires. Clearly I'm not using that tug protector right. Shoot, I don't know. That's a problem for another day, not for this video. We're just talking about the dishwasher. All right, we're gonna put our greens together. And then sometimes I like to just give a little tug just to make sure that they're connected well and they're not wanting to come apart. We're gonna put our black together, and then we're gonna put our whites together. Sometimes just doing a little twist to get it started. You don't have to twist them all the way, and then you let that wire, that little metal piece in there, will twist them together and grab. So we hinged our piece down on the side. We flip this down, we attach our screw, and then we have our strain relief down there. So our cord is ready. We'll just plug it into the wall. And then now we need to connect our water line. So even though we have our existing supply line, I'm going to use a new elbow because it will have all new fresh gaskets in it. So this guy we're gonna replace. Now we're gonna start to slide the dishwasher into place. We're gonna push the drain hose through, and in my case, the supply line I had attached under the cabinet and I had it through the hole, but if not, you would push it through the hole so you could connect it inside the cabinet. You're gonna push your plug through so everything is reachable from inside your cabinet, and then this little fabric or cloth piece on top, put that back on there. That is insulation, that's not packaging material, so put that back over the top before you slide it in. And so I've just slid it out, so I've adjusted my front feet. I've slid it out so I can adjust my back feet. Some of the newer dishwashers have, you can adjust the front feet, and then there's like a screw you can screw in the front to adjust the back, but this one doesn't have it, so I'm gonna adjust these to match that, check it with a level, and then slide it back in. I'm gonna wait to do these brackets until I run a cycle and just make sure I don't have any leaks anywhere. So our supply line is connected, because remember we didn't disconnect that. So we're gonna connect our drain line, and then we're gonna go ahead and plug it into our outlet. All right, so remember, we gotta do our high drain loop. So I'm gonna pull my extra through. That can be my loop, and then we'll come through here. All right, we're gonna fit that clamp, and you might have one of those little squeezy clamps. This is one that you screw in. We're gonna put it over, in my case, onto the disposal, but you also might have an air gap you're connecting it to up there, or a drain line or something like that. So we're gonna go ahead and connect this on here. Okay, so we got our drain line nice and snug. I'm gonna use your dishwasher probably came with a zip tie, so you can use that zip tie and a screw to get this extra plastic up really high if you're trying to create that loop. I just have this Velcro zip tie that I had used before, so I'll just use that again. We're gonna plug our dishwasher in, and we'll test it out. Don't forget to turn your water back on. So I am gonna take all this stuff out. I like the idea of giving them a new dishwasher with no plastic in it, but I also wanna be able to run a cycle and make sure we don't have any leaks anywhere. So we gotta pull the interior plastic. I then like to just, as the cycle's going, I like to touch the supply line, just feel, make sure there's no leaks there. If your supply line was new under the sink, I'd fill that out too, but we left that and this is our only new connection. So I'm just gonna look under here, make sure we have no drips, and just touch it periodically throughout the cycle. All right, so we've let it run for several minutes, but a dishwasher cycle takes a really long time, so I've canceled the cycle so it can drain. I can hear it starting to drain, just to make sure that everything's draining in just fine. And we're gonna go ahead and put this arm on here. So the arm came unattached. Sometimes these are already attached. Has a little Allen wrench, don't throw that away. It looks like we're probably gonna slide it onto these and then just tighten it with a set screw. So just always check your plastic that you're not throwing away a component that you need. All right, so see those little set screws? This was clipped onto the shelf, so we're gonna loosen that and loosen that to take these off. And then that's also what we're gonna use to tighten them on at the bottom there. So, I'll I'll try to go your direction so you can see. It's gonna loosen and let that go. And then same thing on this side. Okay, and let that go. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna slide on here. And when we tighten these little guys underneath, that's what's gonna hold it on. So we're just gonna slide it into place. And then we're gonna tighten our set screws. Should have peeled this off before, but I think we can still get it. Here, let's loosen just a little bit. All right, so we got our handle on, that's easy peasy. Now we're gonna go ahead and do our brackets up at the top. Give you a top view. So you're gonna open your door. It's just gonna be easier to get to your, and so this is gonna go in like this, and see how it's got that little, if you kind of curve it in, those will grab, and then we'll screw them in too. So we're gonna kind of force it in, go that way, and then go like that. But then what we're gonna do is we're going to attach these guys in. So now we're gonna slide it back into place and get it, kind of make a plan about exactly how deep we want it and all that. So I'm looking at the depth, I'm looking at the side to side, and I'm looking at the brackets. You wanna make sure it's deep enough, which sometimes is hard when you're cording your plugger in the back. This one's easier, but I had a Samsung that, man, it was really hard to get it slid back all the way. So we're kind of just adjusting it how we want, and then we're gonna go ahead and those brackets we put in, we're gonna screw them to our upper bracket. So again, we're screwing into this bracket that we've added because we have a stone countertop, but if you had a laminate or like a butcher block countertop where you can just screw into it, you may just be screwing into what's already there. So you may not have this bracket. All right, last thing to do is we're gonna install this bottom cover plate to cover that gap. So in my case, the plate came not installed, and there's these screws there and there. So I'm gonna take the screws off, and then I'll use them to put this back on. If you stayed this long, I super appreciate you. Have a beautiful day.